students. I am Dr. Vinod Kumar. I welcome you all to this video lecture on financial management. So this video lecture is prepared by VK Scholar Education Digital Initiative, and I shall be taking in very much detail about various issues of financial management. Okay, so this is video number 8. Subject is financial management, and the paper is December 2007 UGC-NET JRF commerce examination. Okay, so let's start. Question number 1. It is a matching question. Okay, so list 1 is there and list 2 is there. In the list 1, there is a capital gearing ratio, fixed assets turnover ratio, return on equity, AC test ratio. Okay, list 2, there is a profitability, short term solvency, activity, long term solvency. Okay, so dear students, first is capital gearing ratio. So capital gearing ratio is also known as leverage ratio. So this ratio is used to analyze the long term solvency of a firm. Okay, so this is matched with long term solvency of a firm. Okay, so and the various leverage ratios like debt equity ratio, okay, debt on total equity. All right, so basically we are interested in knowing long term financial position of a company, whether company is able to pay its long term financial obligation on due date or not. Okay, second is the fixed asset turnover ratio. So turnover ratio is also known as activity ratio. Okay, so just a minute. Yes. So turnover ratio is also known as activity ratio. So activity ratio is used to analyze efficiency of using fixed assets. How fixed assets are efficiently used by a firm to generate efficient sales. Okay, so that profitability of a firm can increase. Okay, so the fixed asset turnover ratio is matched with just a minute, activity. Okay, next is return on equity. The return on equity is also known as profitability ratio. It is calculated to see the profitability of owners investment. Okay, so owners of a firm are equity shareholders. So equity shareholders give money to the firm and they expect a certain rate of return on the investable funds, yeah, on their investment. Okay, so ROE is calculated net profit after tax divided by net worth. Okay, so return on equity is associated or linked with profitability of a firm. Last is the AC test ratio. AC test ratio is known as liquidity ratio. It is also known as quick ratio. So it refers to the short term liquidity position of a firm. So as quick ratio is calculated as we subtract inventories from करंट एसेट्स. तो क्या कह सकते हैं आप, करंट एसेट्स में से आप इन्वेंट्रीज माइनस कर दीजिए और उसको करंट लायबिलिटीज से डिवाइड कर दीजिए. मीन्स करंट एसेट्स माइनस इन्वेंट्रीज डिवाइड बाय करंट लायबिलिटीज. ओके, सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन and correct answer is option number 1. Okay, so again capital gearing ratio is linked with long term solvency, fixed asset turnover ratio is linked to the activity, ROE is connected with profitability of a firm, and AC test ratio is linked to the short term solvency position of a firm. So short term solvency means short term liquidity and long term solvency means long term liquidity position of a firm. Okay, so next question is capital structure designing has nothing to do with. There are four options: profitability, solvency, flexibility and transferability. Okay, so you know that cash profitability is highly important for a firm. Okay, in case of financial management, the profitability firstly calculated through EBIT, we call it operating profit. After that, final result is earning available for equity shareholders, earning available for equity shareholders. Okay, because we are interested in NPV of an investment proposal in a capital budgeting decisions. तो इसलिए जो भी पैसा हम कंपनी में लगाएंगे उसके ऊपर हमारा ROE कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल से ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. ओके, तो ROI शुड बी greater than overall cost of capital of a firm. Okay, so profitability is an important factor in designing the optimum capital structure of a company. Solvency is also important factor, both short term solvency and long term solvency. Okay, short term solvency refers to the liquidity and long term solvency we call it long term liquidity position of a firm. There must be enough flexibility in choosing different sources of capital for the capital structure of a firm. Okay, तो flexibility भी होनी चाहिए. So last option, transferability has nothing to do with capital structure of a firm. तो इसका करेक्ट जो आंसर है that is transferability. नीचे मैंने एक 14 पॉइंट्स का एक लिस्ट क्रिएट किया है. तो इन 14 पॉइंट्स के ऊपर आपको ध्यान देना है. पिछली वीडियो में भी मैंने आपके साथ शेयर किया था कि ये जो 14 फैक्टर्स हैं, दीज प्ले वेरी क्रूशियल रोल इन डिसाइडिंग अबाउट कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ए कंपनी. सबसे पहला रिस्क, जिसमें बिजनेस रिस्क और फाइनेंशियल रिस्क. बिजनेस रिस्क थ्रू ऑपरेटिंग लिवरेज, फाइनेंशियल रिस्क थ्रू फाइनेंशियल रिस्क थ्रू फाइनेंशियल लिवरेज. ओके, कंट्रोल ऑन द अफेयर्स ऑफ ए फर्म. तो इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर हैज़ फाइनल कंट्रोल ओवर द अफेयर्स ऑफ ए बिजनेस. प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, okay, EBIT, and finally what is the EPS. Cost of capital means overall cost of capital of a firm, as well as what is the specific cost of capital. What is the trading on equity? We call it financial leverage. Okay, when ROI is greater than fixed financial charges means cost of debt, so we call it this is a trading on equity. There must be enough flexibility in choosing different sources of capital. Attitude of investor. Okay, different categories of investors. Some are preferring control in a business. Okay, so they are the equity shareholders. Some are interested in getting regular income, so they are interested in the interest from a company. Okay, nature of business, size of the company, purpose of financing, time of issue, tax planning, debt equity ratio, consulting lenders and banker. So these are the various factors which a company will keep in mind while deciding capital structure for its business. Okay, next is which of the following is the source of short term finance. Okay, so four options are given: trade credit, bank credit, short term borrowing. So all of the above are sources of short term finance. I have prepared a table bifurcated between लॉन्ग टर्म सोर्सेज ऑफ फाइनेंस एज वेल एज शॉर्ट टर्म सोर्सेज ऑफ फाइनेंस. तो आप देखिए, शॉर्ट टर्म में ट्रेड क्रेडिट, सेकंड इज द बैंक क्रेडिट, और बैंक क्रेडिट के डिफरेंट वेरिएंट्स मैंने इसमें लिख दिए हैं: कैश क्रेडिट, ओवरड्राफ्ट, शॉर्ट टर्म लोन्स, परचेज और डिस्काउंटिंग ऑफ बिल्स, लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट, बैंक गारंटी, कॉमर्शियल पेपर, अक्यूरल्स या जिसको स्पॉन्टेनियस फाइनेंसिंग भी कह सकते हैं, जिसमें हम दो चीज़ें इंक्लूड करते हैं: वेजेज एंड टैक्स, पब्लिक डिपॉजिट, फैक्टरिंग, intercorporate deposits. So these are the 7 sources of short term sources of finance. In the long term, equity, preference, जिसको हाइब्रिड भी बोलते हैं, हाइब्रिड preference is known as hybrid asset, hybrid securities. So then debentures, term loans, fixed deposits from public, lease financing, hire purchase financing और internal accruals, जिसमें दो मेन एग्जाम्पल है आपका: depreciation and retained earning. Okay, so it was all about short term as well as long term sources of finance. Okay, so thank you very much. Meet you in next video with another questions. Okay, so thank you very much.